The first time I realized my childhood roommate might not be normal, I couldn't have imagined just how far it would go. I had just started 8th grade and was sent to a boarding school on the outskirts of town. It was one of those places where the halls echo with every footstep, and the smell of old wood hangs in the air like it's been waiting for years to tell stories. I was assigned a roommate named Weston, a quiet, odd kid who didn't say much at first. Our room was tiny, 2 beds, 2 desks, and a closet barely big enough for one person, let alone 2. Within a few weeks, Weston handed me a folded piece of paper. On it was a list of things I absolutely could not bring into the room. It wasn't presented jokingly or casually. He looked at me like breaking the rule could end the world. I skimmed the list, and the items made no sense at all. Frogs, salt, random food items. Things no normal kid would think of bringing into a dorm. I didn't question the logic at first. I figured it was just his quirk. But he was serious, and there was an intensity behind his gaze that made me uneasy. As the nights went by, I noticed he muttered to himself in low whispers, mostly after lights out. It wasn't occasional, it was constant. Sometimes I'd catch fragments, and it sounded like he was talking to someone, but no one else was in the room. At first I tried ignoring it, but the more it happened, the more it unsettled me. Weston kept a small notebook tucked under his mattress. I didn't think much of it until curiosity got the better of me one day. When he was gone, I reached under his bed and pulled it out. Most pages were blank, but a few contained names. Kids I knew from school. My heart raced as I scanned for my own name. And there it was, near the end. Not crossed out, just there, in neat handwriting. I had no idea what it meant, but a cold dread settled in my chest. After that, I became hyper-aware of him. Even when he wasn't near me, I felt watched. I started spending more time outside our dorm, lingering in friends' rooms just to avoid being alone. Then one night, my worst fear became reality. I woke to pitch darkness, and I wasn't sure what time it was. At first, I thought I had been stirred by his muttering, but when my eyes adjusted, I realized he wasn't whispering. He was standing over my bed. His hands hovered slightly, as if frozen mid-motion. A smile stretched across his face. Calm. Unnerving. I screamed instinctively. He didn't flinch. Didn't even blink. When I demanded he explain himself, he said I'd been talking in my sleep. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement of his behavior, just that statement. I didn't know whether he was lying or genuinely forgot, and that uncertainty was worse than fear itself. The following week, things escalated. I came back one night to find a small snake slithering across my bed. Weston sat at his desk, expression blank. He muttered it was a harmless prank and that the snake was everywhere in the woods surrounding the campus. I didn't believe him. The way it had moved on its own and slid into the jar he opened left me questioning reality. Sleep became impossible. One night, I experienced what I thought was a nightmare. My body paralyzed, a shadowy living mass swirling above me, descending, reaching out. A claw scraped my bed frame, then recoiled suddenly. Objects flew, the room ransacked, and then the figure smashed through the window, disappearing into the night. I woke, rigid and panicked. The window was shattered. My bed frame bore the exact scratches from the vision I had just had. Weston was asleep, snoring. My first instinct was disbelief, but everything in that room screamed otherwise. I tried shaking him awake, nothing. Finally, when he woke, he blamed me for the chaos, hissing in a language I didn't understand. The next morning, I discovered he had already packed and moved out. No explanation, no warning. The administration simply relocated me. I never saw him again. To this day, I can't explain what happened that night. Whether it was Weston, my imagination, or something else entirely, it left a mark I can't forget. Some fears don't need reasons. They just exist. I eventually tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was stress, maybe a vivid dream. But the physical evidence, the broken window, the marks, they refused to be explained. That room had become a place I could never feel safe in again. From that moment, I understood that some people carry secrets, and some nights carry shadows that refuse to be ignored. I left that school, but the memory of Weston and the things he did, or perhaps didn't do, stayed with me far longer than it should have.